guys. How are you? It is Miss Polly. Um, this evening, I got all dressed up and I took some photos and did a little bit of photos for Instagram and things like that. And I wanted to also include a YouTube video. So um, I went ahead and I'm kind of laying down now because, if you guys don't know, I have like a sensitive back. So sometimes just staying up in that, 90-degree angle for long periods of time can tend to get to me. So I'm just going to let it rest for a little bit. And so today it will be more like a bedtime conversation. And that should be great. So if you're new to the channel, thank you for subscribing. You guys go ahead and like this video if you enjoy the conversation that we have. I hope to be someone that you guys to kind of listen to on your way to work, or even while you're just relaxing at home. So anyway, mostly in our channel we talk about being poly or relationships and how to build good relationships. But I'm just going to give a little segment here tonight. Recently this week I was watching a little reel. Now, if you don't know what that is on Facebook. They have reels, basically, that you can just kind of scan through. And I get caught up nowadays, on there. But I saw a gentleman and a woman. They look like they probably participate in Bigo, and that's a streaming website where you can make money on and stuff. And the gentleman there, when I heard this, I had to get on top of it, is where he was saying he was poly. And I was like, okay, let me just hear what's going on. So the woman is in the video. She is kind of going on about how she paid to come hang out with him. I may leave the link to that video if you want to watch it, though. But she was saying she had come, basically wanted to get into a situation within a relationship with him and another partner in the house. And it sounded like a polygamy situation where there was going to be more than one woman, but they're going to be building in a home, putting all their money into one pot that everyone has access to, and building that way. So that's that's what I got from the conversation. But the part that threw me off is this man was nowhere near poly. And this is where we want to say red flags for women. I noticed that he does, I don't know him personally, but he does sound like he was trying to scam her. Unfortunately, she was speaking how she had spent money to come see him and start, the whole process of, living together and making a family and all that. And when she got there, she found out she had no access to the funds immediately, to funds that she had given. He was speaking about her owing it to him. And when she said owing it to him, I guess he had asked her to fund a trip for him to go see one of his children. And he was like, oh, that, well, you said you were going to give that to me. And then she said, oh, well, you're supposed to pay it back. And you never did. And he's like, well, you said you were going to pay a certain amount. I think it was like $20K to a family account. And, it just, if you listen to it, it sounded like she put herself in a little bit of debt, thinking that those funds would be replenished once they're all in the household and their incomes are coming in, that she'd be able to pay her own bills, and it wouldn't be a big issue if she gave it, because they're all putting in money, and then when she gets her money back, she'll be able to pay her own bills, but still contributing to the group. And it seemed like he was trying to say that for some reason she owed this money to him. Which, first of all, if you listen to his actual language, owing. If you're in any poly situation and you have decided to combine your bank, your money, you shouldn't be owing anything. Now I can understand if you took money from a savings account or a family, account that you guys are spending, and you owe that money back because you just took it to borrow from the account. It's for something later in life, vacation or something. You need to put that back. You're borrowing it to put it back because there was an emergency or whatnot. But you don't owe anything. Especially if you're getting into a new relationship, you definitely don't owe anyone anything. So I would definitely say that this man is trying to use poly, and this is where he kept saying, when she was coming up with the complaints, he mentioned that, okay, well, if you're going to be part of a poly, I don't know what he called it. I call them pods. So if you're going to be part of our family or our pod, you're supposed to contribute money, and then that money we can all have access to. And that's the thing. It's a little bit more deeper than that. And I think people get confused about it. They think poly means that, okay, well, we're going to just put all our money into a bank account, and then when I need something, I can get it. When you need something, you can get it. And then we're just going to have all these funds. We're going to get all the stuff we want. And that's not how it is. And that would be true if it was just monogamy. Also, you and your boyfriend decide to put your bank accounts together. As soon as he puts his check in, that doesn't mean you can go buy a car because he got more money than you that month. Just because you have access to the money doesn't mean there doesn't need to be a plan of how to spend it and where it's going. That's a process of any kind of relationship that just makes sense. So the fact that he's saying put money in and then he wants to go use her credit to, get fancy cars, and that was a red flag to her that this was something else and it was not what she thought it was. I'm glad she noticed it and she stopped it early. And hopefully she didn't lose too much more money than what she already contribute to. But yeah, definitely that is a a red flag, sorry, that this is something that's not right. I will be honest with you. I've mentioned it before. If you are a polygamist, a true polygamist, if you're interested in the polygamy lifestyle, poly is becoming more popular, but a lot of people don't actually know what it is, or they try to take little pieces of what they think it is and then build their own. So if you're someone who's serious about getting into poly, do some, do some research, actually find out. And I'm not talking about that little Google search crap, of a few YouTube channels where you see somebody says they're poly. Because the reason why I'm saying that is because not everyone's definition of poly is the same, and when we do poly, a lot of people poly different, and it's not wrong, it's just different. And you need to know the basics of what it is and what category you will lay in. What I mean by category is if you're polyandry, if you're polygamist, and you're polyamorous. Polygamists especially have a real polygamist has a plan, and their plan is very concrete. That man knows what his plan is. He knows what he's looking for. He knows, what he wants to do. He knows what he like his women to do. He is all this kind of planned out. And when it comes to money, each family is different, of course, but there is going to be structure. It's not just give me all your money, and that's where it goes into sounding like a pimp situation. And that's where people get the line of saying, I've been called, oh, you're a pimp because you have more than one partner. And that's where the lines get really blurry for some people, because all they see is, okay, well, a pimp is a person who has more than one woman, and he, tricks them out. And I say, well, first off, if you're in a poly relationship, you shouldn't be tricking out your women. Or if you're a polygamist, or you shouldn't trick out your partner to make money for you. I don't care if that's stripping. I don't care if that's going to work. That's not poly. That's just you trying to make life easier for yourself. That is not poly. That is misrepresentation, and that is things that I hate right now, is that it's getting confused and people are misusing it. And what's going to happen is the people who want to do something and want to get laws changed so that they can have, more than one marriage and it be legal and things like that, it's going to be a lot harder because you're fighting people who are misrepresenting it. And then now you have the government officials and people who make laws saying, see, this is why we can't allow that, because this is what happens. People are going to say they're together and they're not, or they're going to play around and people are going to get hurt. And, morally, can we, make it legal for men to abuse women or women to abuse men? And it goes, around and around. And so for those people, we want to identify those people and make sure we're calling them out. I'm gonna be honest, calling them out, because that, as soon as I started hearing the story, I said, that sounds like pimping. Now, the story was given to me in two segments. The first segment was kind of saying he was a narcissist. And then the second part, when I read the title, it said that, then that's when I saw the poly part, this is not poly, this is pimping. And I would agree. I would agree with that statement. He, in his mind, was more worried about the financial benefits of being poly than anything else. It didn't sound like he had any real connection emotionally to any of these women. It just sounded like he talked his way into getting into their pocket, presenting, especially nowadays, presenting an opportunity to become more wealthy. And so if someone comes to you and says, hey, babe, I see you're struggling, or I see that you're making good money and I know you want to do better, come over here and we'll be a team and we're going to make money. We're over here making money, come over here and then we're going to make lots of money, and think how much better we can have and vacations we can have and fun we can do together. And we're going to be there for you, ride or die. And I'm going to be honest, for someone to outright say that in the beginning and meeting you within the first 3 months, that sounds crazy. And I mean that honestly. You're telling me you barely know me and you're willing to ride or die for me. If I go to jail, you're ready to, put up court costs. Poly is not just about the benefits that it has for you. Is going to be also the same things that are monogamy. You're going to want to be there when someone's down and out. You may have a partner who goes through bankruptcy, a partner who goes through losing a job, all those struggles that have been going on, especially since, 2020, a lot of people losing their jobs. Money has been hard to come by. People's lifestyles have changed. People are starting to start their own businesses, things like that. And those kind of things take time and dedication and patience sometimes, and being with a partner, knowing they may not have income for 6-7 months, a year more, all those things. And you want to still treat them right, treat them kind, have love for them, be willing to share your money with them because they're not able to pay their bills, take on their stresses, take on their financial needs. And so for someone to come out the woodwork in 3 months and you haven't even met them in person and saying they're ready for this commitment for you to move in, and you've only known them for 2-3 months, that is a red flag. That is a very big red flag. I don't know their specific situation, but I will tell you, it didn't sound like anything was offered other than, we're going to make money, we're going to have a great time, and we're going to be here, and we're going to ride or die for you. And that's not enough. That's not enough. If some man came up to you and said that to you and he was monogamous, you'd be like, what? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean you're gonna ride or die for me? Like, you barely know me. You don't know my situations. You don't know. All you know is my credit score's good. That I bring in a certain amount of money. But what if I don't bring that in anymore? What if something bad happens to me? What happens if I can't work anymore? So are you still going to be ride or die? Or you're just going to, say F it, because I'm not giving you what you want from this relationship any longer. And all you really want was the money and the financial stability for yourself. So yeah, this video, like I said, I saw it on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube. Sorry, I saw it on Facebook Reels, and then I think it is on different platforms. But I will try to go ahead and put that in the link for that video if you like to watch it, and you guys can see what I was speaking about. But yeah, it did sound like it was pimping. I definitely will say a red flag for you ladies would be a few red flags, which I'll make a little video after this that's on it, so you guys can see some red flags of what is totally not poly, and could be a sign of someone using you incorrectly. And this, I want people to know, it's not just polygamous, because polygamists get a bad name, and we want to be careful with that. Women who are polyandry could do the same thing, which is, hey, using men who have money and are lonely to give them what they want, and then they can still go out and have other men. Once again, not poly. That's not poly. It's using someone for financial gain. It's just a way that you can benefit yourself. And so we have men in polygamy are not alone. A lot of people view poly as a way to heal their financial issues. Don't go into it like that. And I'm going to tell you, you're trying to heal your financial issues by getting with someone. You're not getting with just one person. See, that's the thing. Is even in monogamy, people think that's crazy. Oh, you're just giving him for his money. Now, imagine doing that with 2-3 people. You think 2 and 3 people, and first off, if you have those kind of issues where you're really after someone, and especially really bad, traits and things like that, it is easier to pick out when there's more of it. When there's more, they can see through that faster because they're going to talk to each other. They'll be like, hey, didn't you see that? Did you notice he does that? Did you? And that's what happened to that woman. She said, I started, if you hear what she was saying, one of the issues was that she asked one of the women that he was with, she asked her, she's like, do we have to just give him our money? And the lady was like, yeah. They talk to each other because the platform is set for you to have open communication. So now you've set yourself up for them to talk about the stupid shit you do. And then, look, you got caught up, and now they know what you're doing, and either they're going to decide to stay with it and that's worth it, and the ones who know that sounds ridiculous, they're going to move on. So it doesn't even make sense to try to get away with it, because they see it. And there's some women, like you said, the pimps, some of those women, they know. After a while, they know what it is. Now, they may be to the point where they're okay with what's happening, and they've accepted that this is what's going to happen. But you know that you're not getting your money. Now, you may be in denial. You may make excuses up for what they're doing. But the fact is, you're aware that you're giving this man all your money and you're not getting back. I mean, you're aware of that. You just may allow it. And I think some people don't realize that a lot of people allow their partners to do things to them. And they've just made it okay in their minds, and that's why they continue to do such. So this woman definitely, I'm glad she saw the red flags. She was able to address it. I thought it was interesting that she addressed it, and he stayed on the live conversation as long as he did. And then she said something, and he did hang up. I think he was just getting caught up in his lies, and it was just something. It's just pointless because he wasn't to get what he wanted, but he didn't want to look like the bad guy, of course. So I mean, at the end of the day, she was able to remove herself. I didn't want anyone to label that as poly and saying, "Oh, look, poly's being used." It is pimping. It is not. People are misusing it and trying to conduct pimping under poly. And we just gotta look at the flags, red flags for women and men, so that we can avoid those situations as much as possible and call those people out. Let other people know what they're doing, so that it won't be confusing for everyone else, and to know that that's not what we do. That's not what we're about. We're about making bonds with multiple people, different bonds, great bonds, great relationships, great interaction to the best of our ability. And that's what we're doing. We're not, you know, out here trying to take people's money and hurt anyone. So, you know, we really need to call that out, and hopefully that makes a difference in the community that we're in. So, oh, that's my little spill. I won't stay on too long for you guys. And I also make a little video here next, another video about some red flags to look out for when you're dating or starting to date, and things that you should look out for: polyandry, polyamorous, polygamy, so that you won't be in a situation like this young lady and have an issue. Okay, guys. Well, if you like this conversation, like this video, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. And you have a good night.